Simulating an ant colony for 30 days and 1,000 days. We watching both of these videos because bugs on the internet becoming popular, bro. I ain't never played with no bugs. I was never a bug guy. So watching these videos, they kind of give me a little bit of the EBGB, just a little bit. But I'm gonna watch it for y'all. Cause some of y'all was saying y'all was really enjoying this. So we're gonna spin back on it. Make sure y'all like the video so I know that y'all wanna watch more bug videos, bro. It's so hot in summer. My AC, it works, but it makes a lot of noise while I record. So I turn it off, bro. Oh my God, I'm sweating bullets. Let's go.
This is my harvester ant.
Y'all ever noticed that ants be real thick? Ant BBL. Some of these girls out here, they be built like ants.
Colony. Despite starting from a tiny little tube, over the past 30 days, the colony has expanded to an entirely new level. Over the months, I've documented their lifestyle, including them hunting, building shelter, eating, and more. I even introduced special predators and prey in order to simulate real-world scenarios in the wild. To understand how this all started,
and them boys be winning every time?
We gotta go back to day one, where my entire colony was...
I'm uneducated when it comes to insects and bugs. Like I said in my last insect reaction, I would be better off without them entirely, and I'm sorry if that offends people, but I don't want to be hallucinating over a ant crawling on me because I'm watching this video. I'd rather just that not exist in general, and especially if you're from the hood, them flying cockroaches, they're no joke.
Confined to a single tube. But while they may be small, they are already extremely powerful. To demonstrate this, I'm putting a live mealworm inside. The colony immediately went into defense mode, and the workers swarmed
they
the
just
worm.
went crazy on him.
While half of the ants used their mandibles to crush the worm's exoskeleton, the other half gathered around the queen and larvae to protect them from the potential threat. Using their stingers, they injected a potent venom into the worm.
They started twerking on him?
To paralyze it. The mealworm stood no chance, and its only purpose now was to serve as food for my colony over the next few days. But I could tell the colony was getting way too big for this tiny tube, and they were even trying to break their way out. So I figured now is a good time to expand them into a bigger home. This is a hybrid nest, and it's gonna be their new home.
Yo, so people, this is really like a big fascination. Like y'all boys got all the tools and equipment like Bruce Wayne to control and dictate and play God over these insects. I'm sorry, I'm overthinking it. I'm sorry.
So I connected vinyl tubing, and soon enough, one of the ants started to walk towards the new nest. After discovering it, she traveled back to her home to tell the rest of the colony about the newfound land.
Holy guacamole!
Over the rest of the day, everyone moved into the nest. I let the colony get used to their new home for a few days, but by day 6, I was bored of just looking at the ants in a plastic nest. So I wanted to build their first real-world habitat with live prey and predators, a desert. For the build, I built up the substrate starting with a drainage layer, and then I added...
He's literally building a server terrain. Like, he building a Minecraft world for these insects. Because you gotta think from their perspective, they drop down and they see it from like the, the different camera angle, the POV.
And a mix of sand and coconut fiber for the floor. I finally added in rocks, wood, and...
What if this what if this is what Earth really is? You know what? Don't, please, bro. I don't want no trouble with everybody.
to make it, a desert. The desert was complete, so I connected the ants with another vinyl tube, and quickly a couple workers ventured into the uncharted territory. In order to give a reason for the colony to explore further into this desert, I sprinkled some of their favorite food around the habitat. Dandelion seeds.
Dandelion? What? I did not know that.
Those seeds made the ants start swarming into the desert.
They could just smell it like that.
Doing their part to take food back to the queen.
Fatty McFat. Oh, wait, Queen. Let me see Queen BBL. Damn. Yeah!
But one of the ants traveled a little too far into the desert and came across this little pit. Thinking it was nothing,
I like how he could just create narratives out of this.
Of his life and walked into it.
Oh, who's there? Temporada.
Something was attacking, and the ant could do nothing about it. You see, earlier that day, I had placed antlion larvae into the desert. These guys create little holes in the sand and wait for an unlucky ant like this guy to
like a Venus flytrap.
But this ant wasn't going to die without a fight and grabbed on with his mandibles. The ant lion was actually losing and didn't even have a grip on the ant. But the ant lion was smarter and used his ability to burrow and pulled the ant under the sand, never to be seen again. While the ants liked the desert, they had to be careful to avoid the deadly predators. Anyways, I wanted to add a desert-themed prey into this habitat to give the ants a solid protein source. So let me introduce you to Mexican jumping beans. These guys may just look like giant seeds, but in reality, they move. That's because inside of each of these beans is a little caterpillar that would eventually turn into a beautiful moth. But these caterpillars
don't say that. I don't really like moths like that, bro. They really haunt my dreams and in my real life. Bro, every time I look up, I think I got a moth infestation. I'm not even gonna lie.
Moths because the ants are going to eat them. Now, to be honest, I thought the ants would just swarm the jumping beans and dig their way into them, but in reality, they didn't really react to them. So I had to expose the juicy prey inside by cutting them open myself and putting them right next to some of the colony. And well, it's safe to say that the ants enjoyed the soft membrane caterpillars that they could split in half with their mandibles.
I ain't gonna lie, it kind of like an orange. Am I wrong for that? It kind of like a lemon, like citrusy flavored.
Okay, that's actually pretty brutal if I'm being honest. The colony slowly started to build up their food supply at their home base with seeds and the caterpillars. And of course, the excess food led the queen to start laying more and more eggs. And after only a few days, the colony's population was getting ready to boom. So
what do you think they do after they finish the experiments? You think they just burn the box? Probably.
Prepare for all the new ants, I'm gonna build another entire habitat for the ants to explore with.
Yo, he got the whole 360 turbine.
All the new predators and prey. So in this weirdly shaped terrarium, I'm building a rainforest. Honestly, it's a little complicated on how I built it, so I'm just gonna show you these sped up clips. And there we go. I'm gonna first
That's
fill
pretty
up
cool.
this
Can't
rainforest
lie.
with some Kentucky bluegrass seeds. And then I've also got some flightless fruit flies for the ants to get even more food. Of course, where there's food, the ants will venture. And within a few minutes, the ants were swarming their new habitat. The flightless fruit flies were the perfect size for the ants to hunt. And literally single ants could bring them back to the nest. But this wasn't just a food-filled dreamland. There are predators here, and this ant is about to figure out the hard way. With one wrong turn, the ant makes its way towards
bro. This is low-key like bug torture, bug coliseum, because we know they gonna die. We just watching them simulate their deaths.
Venus flytrap. The ant slightly stepped onto it, not knowing its life could end at any moment. Foolishly, it fell for the bait, as Venus flytraps produce a sweet nectar to attract
I remember
insects.
that, yup. I remember that.
As the
I'm really
ant was
getting
busy
educated off of this
inspecting
too.
The plant, the fly trap slowly started to close its mouth, leaving no chance of escape for the ant. You could see the ant slightly moving around inside, but over the coming days, the Venus flytrap will produce a type of acid that will dissolve the poor ant into nothing but nutrients. But carnivorous plants weren't the only thing the ants had to watch out for, as I'm about to introduce a fierce predator into the rainforest. Something menacing with excellent eyesight and sharp venomous
A spider,
fangs.
bro. Get out of here.
Everyone, please welcome Jeremy, my jumping spider.
No, don't tell me to jump,
Jeremy
bro. Don't tell me that
I
to jump.
expect him to instantly start eating the ant.
Bro,
Wait, what?
please.
Okay, it turns out Jeremy is a little bit.
How do he even let them get into the enclosure, bro? Like, do he just leave the box in there and then open it? Or do he like shake it out? But what if it jump on his arm and bite him and then he turned it? Yo.
Camera shy and just instantly went to hide in some plants. I tried to push him out so I could film him eating some of the ants, but he just went and hid at another place where I couldn't even see him. Well, Jeremy is in this rainforest, and when he does decide to come out, these ants better be careful. Yeah. It was now day 23, and today I wanted to simulate some natural disasters across not only the rainforest, but also the desert to see how the ants will react. Of course, over in the desert, I'm going to create a sandstorm. So I brought over my hairdryer and turned it on. The sand started to fly everywhere, and the ants that were out exploring had to try their best to cling onto the grains of sand that they could. But over in the rainforest, fog had started to roll in, and
he's creating natural disasters.
This rain will play a vital role in making sure the ant colony has enough water to sustain their entire colony. It was nearing the end of the 30-day simulation, and today, on day 28, I wanted to see how the ants would respond to an intruder in their home nest. The intruder I'm gonna put in the nest is this dubia roach. So
I don't know. It look Australian.
Immediately, it crawled down to the bottom of the nest, where there were no ants. Now, to be honest, I thought the ants would instantly start swarming the roach, but it took a few minutes before even the first ant had contact with it. The ant got super scared and fell on his back. But the roach was just as scared, and it ran all the way to the exit of the nest. He then crawled out into the desert outworld, never to be seen again. Thankfully, the queen was left unharmed, and the colony
so they didn't even get right with him. That boy got out there.
Over the past 30 days, the ants went from a tiny tube to a thriving nest with multiple ecosystems. Although some of the ants were lost to predators, the survivors were able to prosper until day 30. By the way, this is only my 5th ever video, so if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, as it means a lot to new creators like me. I'll be making more videos on these ants in the future, so comment a name for the colony and some ideas. Thanks for watching.
The bug community going up. The weirdos winning. I ain't mean to call y'all weirdos, bro. I just don't understand why y'all just fascinated in bugs. Like, I never picked up bugs. I never picked up like a raccoon or nothing. I'm super vanilla when it comes to the outdoors. Like, I put on, butt spray. I put on sun lotion. What's it called? Sunscreen. I usually wear hoodies in the sun too. Yeah, I know.
1,000 days.
Real Florida boy.
Empire. But a rival colony is watching.
All right, it's 1,000 days. 1,000 days. 1,000 days. Fails, bro, that look like a juggernaut ant.
War, destroy her home and take over mine. Everything depends on her. So over the first few days, she creates a nest.
No way, only one. She the only one doing that by herself?
Her first generation is underway.
Oh, nah, she hard.
But in the world above, they will have to face competition and rival.
Yeah, they're gonna lose, bro. That's a lizard.
Their journey has
was it iguana?
Just begun.
Iguana catching a care package off the rip.
Nest, so she creates workers to serve and protect her.
Damn, ants grow up fast.
Has already arrived.
Who that is?
A wild ant on the hunt for new territory. This wild colony lives on my windowsill. Oh my god. The workers act quickly. They are beginning to build a wall.
Great wall of ants.
They will stop at nothing
that
to
wasn't
protect
funny.
Their queen, and pretty
it was
soon
an observation. It didn't need to be funny, buddy.
But war is coming, and if they want to survive, they will need an army. And for that, they need food.
Like a blight. Oh, it's the seeds. That's the dandelion seeds.
Their job is to transport them
educated.
underground, where they store them in a bakery.
They're disorganized. There's no way there's no way they're actually disorganized, and they're doing all this for somebody like me to light the entire nest on fire. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Don't let me see an anthill. I will pull out a flamethrower, bro. I'm not playing, bro. These bugs, bro. I won't be able to sleep at night. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how you guys do it.
The seeds into bread, ant bread. It is the perfect food for their growing larvae, and 70 days later, the results are clear.
Thriving community.
There was a
3 rooms. It's like the Fallout mobile game.
All powered
DC mobile
by
game.
Tiny bakery.
Every mobile game.
But the new workers are weak and clumsy.
Big booty ass.
They need sugars like honey. Yet the honey stayed untouched.
Yeah, imagine being the first ant to get in the honey.
A wild ant. Thankfully, she's
in
alone.
that La La Land. Ah!
So
they going crazy in there.
They launched.
Oh, they start. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yo, low key, the honey. That's like the perks. It's the roids. Bro. It made them go crazy, bro. What type of fentanyl did you just feed these ants? They went feral after the honey got put down.
Or so I thought.
That's
They
nutty.
launched an attack. This is nothing compared to the war, yet the colony is overrun. But I tried to save as many of our ants as I could.
I'm running for the black guys.
But it was already too late.
What?
The damage had already been done.
Put the fist up, ants.
I spent hours removing the enemy, one by
Oh, he
one,
wasn't lying. He was
by
actually
one.
doing that. Telling you, bro, unemployment final
Most
boss.
of the colony did not survive.
We're here, bro. Late stage
And
capitalism.
those that did are badly injured. But ants are one of the few animals that respect their dead, so the remaining few build a graveyard.
I ain't gonna lie, that's actually 5. Don't
It
worry,
is
I'll burn you guys
almost
with them.
unbelievable. They may have lost the battle.
That's kinda crazy
but
that they
will
do that,
they
though.
win the war? The colony is weaker than ever, but they still need honey to survive. Last time, it caused a disaster. This time, they act with caution and begin to feed. You can even see their tongue as they chew on the honey.
That boy,
But then
they getting ready for war.
remarkable happens.
Yeah, that boy started bathing in that mother.
Covering the honey in dirt and debris.
For what? So that the black ants can't get it?
It is genius. They are hiding it from the wild colony. Protecting
Wow.
the honey means protecting their queen.
Wow.
She is the only one in the nest who can lay eggs. If she dies, the rest of the colony is doomed. But with her survival,
But can't
the colony
other queen
thrives.
ants be born though? Or does she have to purposely give birth to that? I like that plan.
By day 600, the colony had become a fortress. But it is time to put their defenses
Bro,
to
it's been
the
like
test.
2 years.
Here are 100
Bro, what if they was capping the whole time and this was actually like in the span of like a week?
flies. They are small, annoying, and a lot like my mother-in-law.
Yo.
They scatter. The ants begin to panic, while many of the flies stand still. If they don't move, then they may remain unseen. But this one makes a run for it. And so does that one, and that one, and that one. But this one was not as lucky. He is
Ooh,
the
them was on
first
the
kill of
offense.
many.
I'm still rooting for the wild
They
ants.
caught most of the flies. A few managed to escape.
Oh no, you're getting shot,
But the
buddy.
escaped flies were not as safe as they thought. Out of the frying pan
No way.
and into the fire.
It runs into the black
The
ants.
wild colony. Their numbers have grown so large, they've spread far beyond
So he
my
just letting
window
ants
sill
infest
and
his house?
overtaken my animal room.
It's all fake.
My pets aren't a fan
It's a
of the
narrative.
new
It's a stage. It's
roommate.
a psyop.
It seems our colony is not as prepared as I thought. So over the next year, our colony became an empire. But the wild colony acted in parallel.
It's the
Both of
wall
them
ants.
are
Like,
fully preparing
why did
for
you let
war.
the wall ants just vibe?
But this one
Call an
escaped into my
exterminator.
kitchen. I didn't know why until I returned. There was an all-out war. And the enemy had already
I ain't gonna lie,
made
this
their way
trio,
underground.
they're violating them, yo. Yo, they're eating their kids, and then they're like twerking on them at the same time.
To save the queen.
Not a
So
queen.
she is brought to the deepest part of the colony.
They gonna get her. They gonna get her.
The rest of the nest had been abandoned, and the remaining workers swarmed the queen. But a worker was left behind, fighting to break free.
Stop trying to make me feel bad, bro. Death to all ants.
The larvae. One by one, they begin to die.
Good.
1,000 days led up to this. The queen began alone to create an empire. But would they let it fall? To save their queen, our colony turns not to flee, but to fight. They begin to rally to their queen.
No way.
Even my pets join the fight.
Wow.
They breached the surface and the enemy was on the run. They were winning, and pretty soon they had won. The wild colony.
They were winning, and pretty soon they had won.
Again. Check out this video for more, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's already over. I thought there was so much more. I'm not gonna lie. Death to all ants. That's my verdict to this video. I mean, it's interesting. It's cool. If you guys like it, thumbs up the video. Let me know that you guys want more of this. I mean, it's enjoyable, to say the least. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next one, bro. Peace out.